Flyers didn't look like they were out of place. They didn't look largely outclassed on Monday night. And maybe the most important thing to come out of Monday was the rebound, the bounce back play of the captain, number 14 in your program, number 1, once again, in some of your hearts, Sean Couturier. Now, I've been very clear about Sean Couturier. He came on Snow the Goalie last year in the midst of a very tough time that he was having with Torts. He came on the show. He was very open and honest about his feelings, about things and how they went down with the coach the previous season when he was getting benched down the stretch as part of that bullshit playoff run that the Flyers never should have participated in, which ultimately landed them in a spot where they ended up taking young Jetlachenko instead of Zeev Buium, which continues to look like a bad decision. But I've been told by some people I'm wrong about that Jetlachenko is going to be a real stud, and Zeev was a -4 the other night when he scored a goal, and I'm an idiot because I don't value defensemen being able to play defense. Okay. If we just set that aside for a second, I'm not jaded. I'm not upset. We'll just put that off to the side. If the Flyers hadn't done that bullshit playoff run, they probably would have been in position to get a player that could have maybe helped the team this year. I don't think Jetlachenko's that guy, but we'll see. Maybe he'll develop here. They'll hold him back from going down to Guelph, and he will be up here the entire season, and he'll be in and out of the lineup and practicing with teammates and practicing under this coaching staff, and they'll feel like that's better for his development than sending him back to junior for a shitty junior team. Maybe. I don't know. But Couturier was benched in large part, in mi opinion. He was benched because Tortorella wanted to galvanize the locker room. I don't think Tortorella was thrilled with Couturier's performance in the second half of the season 2 seasons ago. Never mind the fact he was coming off of multiple back surgeries, and that's going to take a while to get your health back and to kind of get your body right. I don't think Torts was thrilled with the second half of the season play out of Couturier, never mind the fact that he also rode Couturier into the ground the first half of that season. We set all of that aside. Flyers go on this nonsensical playoff push that ultimately resulted in Couturier's benching. I would say Couturier's sheer embarrassment, right? It felt like it was almost a game being played by John Tortorella, who had named him captain. There was always conflicting information about whether Torts actually wanted to name Couturier captain. If it was a front office-led decision, the front office will tell you that it was all Torts. I don't really care. I don't think it matters. Maybe it does to you. Regardless, Couturier was in a very bad spot with the coach 2 years ago. Last season, very clearly carried over. And fans really did turn against Couturier a lot last year. Now, if we're being fair, which again, we do on this show, a lot of Flyers fans were ready to give up on Sean Couturier 2 seasons ago. Now, the first half of the season, he looked good. The second half of the season, coming off of 2 back surgeries, run into the ground, he was significantly slower and did not react well in the second half of the season. Last year, he was okay. And there were times that it looked like he was skating in quicksand. And a lot of fans turned against Sean Couturier, which I thought was largely unfair. And then you fast forward to Monday. New head coach, a head coach that has been largely applauded by his team as being somebody who's open, who's honest, who has a better line of communication between the coaching staff and the players. And Sean Couturier, who was outspoken last year, especially after Torts was dismissed, and Sean Couturier, who has certainly been outspoken through the offseason and preseason and going into the season, whenever asked about last year. Couturier had a turn back the clock game on Monday night. 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists. And in a midst of a time where fans were kind of piling on Matvei Mishkov and him looking slow in the first 2 games of the season and not getting a shift in the overtime against Carolina, and then that leading to Tocchet saying there was an ankle injury in the offseason, yada, yada, yada. With all eyes pretty squarely locked on Matvei Mishkov, Couturier goes and takes all of the pressure off of Mishkov and has himself a hell of a game. And Couturier was the steady force on the ice for the Flyers on Monday night, including a goal that came off of an absolutely ridiculous pass from behind the net by Trevor Zegras, a guy who started the season at center and then on Monday night was playing on the wing. And Rick Tocchet addressed it today, saying that Dvorak and Zegras can both play wing. They can both play center. and that Tocchet is really just concerned with getting the puck onto Trevor Zegras' stick as much as possible, whether that's at center, if it's at wing. We can come back to that in a bit. But Zegras, who has kind of been maligned as being a skill guy, a flashy guy, but maybe not a hockey player, he held two guys off the puck and whipped around a quasi no-look pass across the face of goal through two additional defenders to the stick of Sean Couturier, who buried it.